everybody. Larry the Pen Bug Guy here. Welcome to Larry's Fountain Pen. Today I'm with Jim Hinze Custom Pens, and this is Jim.
Hello, everybody.
Jim. So we're here today to talk about Hinze Custom Pens. Jim, tell the people about your website. When do you think it's going to be up and running?
So within the next couple weeks, I should have the new website out. It's going to be hinzepens.com, and it will allow you to basically order your custom pen. It'll present you with nib options, plating options, material options, postable, clip, non-postable, center band, no center band, and it'll allow you to build and price it as you go. It's a little different take on some of the custom pen makers out there who just say, all right, well, tell me what you want and I'll give you a price. I'd like you to be able to see it as you're going so you know what you're getting into.
Just like when I've already did the review on the Blue Storm, it doesn't have any hardware on it. So that would be a different price rate.
Right now, that basic pen, okay, it's a fairly standard size. It's a little over 5.5 inches long. It doesn't have any hardware whatsoever. It's just the nib and the cap. That pen for your viewers until the end of February is $80.
Beat that. Now, were you running a discount or something?
I am. For the next month, any of Larry's viewers who orders a custom pen, not the $80 base model, but a custom pen, something like this.
Or like this.
Or like this. You're eligible for 30% off the price. So this pen here right now is $175. Take 30% off of that. This one's $150. Take 30% off of that.
Now, what kind of materials is this made of?
So this is made out of an epoxy resin, and it's dyed with basically mica powder. Okay. Very, very fine mica pigment. And it's added to the resin in such a way to where the resin is opaque. Okay. I mix these custom. I pour them custom. The rods come out like this. This one is antique bronze and copper that looks like muddy brown or earth would be the best example.
This reminds me, I saw a pen earlier from Francisco. It kind of reminds me of the Edison.
Not Edison, Collier.
No, it's the Edison pen, the antique marble. That's what it kind of reminds me of. That beautiful pen.
Or is there a brownstone one?
Yeah, and then they have one like a brownstone, the Conklin brownstone. It'll knock your socks off. So, you know, you're getting a pen at a very, very already affordable rate. A quality pen, not just a pen, but a quality fountain pen that you're going to be glad that you bought the pen from Jim, because you're going to be buying other pens from Jim, and that's the whole thing. Jim just doesn't want to sell one pen. You know, he wants you to be happy and satisfied that you'll come back and you're a happy camper. And if you're a happy camper, you come back and buy more happy pens. So, all right, so what is this pen made of?
This is also an epoxy resin.
Both epoxy.
I use 3 resins. The Blue Storm and the Beacon, which you have yet to review, are both made out of polyester resin. Polyester resin is a unique material. It polishes like nothing else. You can get Edison pens. Okay, a lot of Edison pens use acrylic acetate, which is another form of polyester resin, and he gets that beautiful finish on it. That's really a function of the resin. Okay. The problem, though, let me backtrack. The problem with polyester resin is if you've ever dropped one of those pens from any given height or watched it skid somewhere, they crack very easily. It's a very brittle material. Epoxy is kind of the best of both worlds. It's somewhat scratch resistant, it's very durable, and I can get it pretty darn shiny. I also use Alumilite, and Alumilite is much like epoxy in that it's durable, it threads well, and the threads are mechanically strong, but it's hard as heck to polish because it's really a plastic-based material. Being a plastic-based material, it's like polishing anything. Your headlamps over time will oxidize and go cloudy. So will the Alumilite light. Now this one also is adorned with sterling silver cap band and a stainless steel clip. The other one, in here, the cap band on this one is nickel, not sterling, but also a stainless steel clip. And some of the clips I buy, some of them I make. This is an example of a clip in progress. This is also stainless steel. It just needs to be polished, but it's ready to go up on a pen. And it's nice and springy.
Now the cases that he has, this is an aluminum case, and then he has another one that's wooden.
It's a wooden base.
Yeah.
Both of them have my logo engraved on them. They're both very nice boxes, and they both hold some of my bigger pens.
So that would look sharp on the desk, at work, at home, right there. So nice pens. So, okay, do you have anything new coming up, planning, a new creation?
This year we're going to do a first limited edition pen. We're playing with the names a little bit. What was on our notes here?
New Dawn.
New Dawn, which I actually like. New Dawn, running as a series. We're going to do a limited run. I haven't determined the number yet, but each pen will be numbered and come with a little card signed by me, talking about the pen and the process as it was made. And I will be publishing more YouTube videos this year. I teach other pen makers how to make pens like this. In fact, I'll be in Augusta, Georgia later this year, teaching classes on that very topic.
Now you have a pen show coming up where now? When?
I am going to be visiting, hopefully, the Los Angeles Pen Show in February. I'm not going to be setting up this year there, but I would like to set up next year. So I've not been out there yet. I want to go check it out. I will be set up, though, at the St. Louis Pen Show this year. And that's the first year for this show. They're expecting a huge turnout. It's at the end of June. And really looking forward to that. I'll also be at the Dallas Pen Show this year.
All right.
I was there last year as a participant or spectator. And next Sunday, Lisa Van Ness from Van Ness Pens is going to be in town and hosting a gathering. I will be there, as well as Larry and a few other viewers from the channel. So if you'd like to see and try some of my pens firsthand, Larry's going to be taking some of these with him today. But he will not get to see another one unless he brings them Sunday for you guys to play around with. And I'll make a few more between now and then. So.
Well, I'll try to bring them Sunday. I don't know if I'll have them all reviewed by Sunday of next week. I should be able to. Yeah. I keep forgetting that not tomorrow. Next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Yeah.
You got a week.
I'm thinking like tomorrow, no way I can review all of them, but it's next week. Yeah. So, I can do that. Yeah. But here's some kit pins that he has made, and I want you to share this.
So let me talk a little bit about this. So, if anybody's interested, I've been turning pens around about 20 years now. I got into turning pens in the early 90s. To tell the story a little more, I am a woodworker. I'm a self-taught woodworker. I've been doing it almost 30 years now. I used to do a lot of flat work. I used to teach people how to make wooden hand planes for smoothing and dimensioning boards. I used to teach people how to make their own bandsaw veneers. I used to teach double bevel marquetry, which is a French technique of painting with wood, if you will. Think stained glass and wood pieces, same kind of concept. But I never did any turning. No bowls, no pepper mills, no vases, no pens. In fact, I used to make fun of the people in our club who were only spinning wood. Until one evening, we would all, every month somebody would teach what they're working on now or show them a new technique or whatever. And this one month somebody said, okay, we're going to teach you how to turn a pen. And he took us through the stages, start to finish, and at the very end, he's like, if anybody wants to stay and try one, I'll be happy to work with you. I said, yeah, I think I'll stay and try one. And this is round about, oh, Larry, I want to say it's somewhere like 90, 92, 93, maybe a little later. I said, okay, let me try this. And I made this tiny little skinny pen, took a cross refill, we call it a slimline. If you ever come out to my farmers markets, I sell those for like 20 bucks. They're like a starter pen. And I fell in love with it. I bought a lathe that night and started turning pens. And this was back when kit pens really had a bad name. And kit pens still have a bad name. You go out on Fountain Pen Network and mention a kit fountain pen and people will lose their minds. However, Opus Mahan, have you ever seen his pens?
No.
Look him up. He does all kit pens. Anyways, way back in the day when I first started turning pens, the nibs that you got with fountain pens were cheap Chinese knockoffs of Jovo nibs. They were horrible. They were scratchy. They did not write well. The feed skipped. Today, if you get a kit fountain pen, you're getting a Jovo nib, the same as I put in my custom pens. And again, there are 3 basic parts to a fountain pen. 4 basic parts. Let's talk about it. We have a body, and the body has some adornments generally. So if you think of Collier, if you think of Pelican, okay? They all have something in between. They usually have a metal thread section for the cap, and they usually have some sort of metal finial. Well, guess what, folks? That's usually a brass piece that's plated, just like a kit pen. This is a piece of brass that's been plated. This one happens to be plated in black titanium. It's threaded. There's a brass tube in the inside that we wrap a piece of wood or acrylic around. Then you have your section, or as Larry calls it, your grip. The grip not only gives you your finger somewhere a place to hold on to, but it holds the nib. And like I said, this is a Jovo number 6 nib. Same as I put in many of my pens. And all it does, it's a piece of brass that's plated, that's threaded to accept the nib. And then you have a cap with a clip. And Pelican, Collier, they all have mass-produced clips with a little finial. So, a kit pen is no different than buying a commercially available pen like a Lamy or a Collier or a Jinghao. Virtually no difference. And in many cases, you get a better nib. Because if you're like me and you're making pens like this, you're upgrading the nib. You're not putting in the nib that came with it. You have a stash of Jovo nibs around or bot nibs you replace them with. This in particular, this is a very ornate pen. It's called the Imperial Dragon. It's rhodium plated. It's all rhodium plated. It's got a semi-precious stone in the finial. And I've put an 18 karat gold Jovo nib on it, which absolutely writes like butter.
It does.
And this one, the only ink I use in this is that J. Urban 1670
okay,
Emerald,
right.
Emerald,
Sugar?
whatever. Yeah, that one, with the gold flake in it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful ink.
And this nib, you can get incredible line separation.
Look at that. Woo. Beautiful.
And that's broad 18 karat gold Jovo nib.
Woo, that's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Stunning. one stunning fountain pen. And here is another talk about.
This
Look at
is called the Great Palace Vines. Again, a lot of rhodium, and it's rhodium and I forget. I'm pretty sure it's just mostly rhodium. Anyways, the barrel is Brazilian rosewood, which is extremely difficult to come by. All the guitar manufacturers are hoarding it, and you can't import it anymore. And this also has an 18 karat gold Jovo nib. This one happens to be a medium. It's not inked, but this does flex. You can
Has a spring to it.
you can see the tines separating. So, I mean, these are incredible pens.
And then last but not least, here's the, looks like a 149 Mont Blanc Ebonite.
Yeah, this one I made last night. I knew Larry was coming over today, so I had recently gotten an order of some ebonite in, and I had this blue and black swirled German ebonite, and decided to make a pen. It's got a vintage clip on it. It's 15.5 mil around. I got my calipers here. So the barrel at its widest is 15.40 mils. The section at its widest is a little over 12.5 mil. The pen itself, we'll go back to inches. So it's 5.560 inches long. Capped, I think it's a little over 6 inches. .1, and go back to mils. The cap at its widest, I think, is just over 16. It's 1554, and this one does post. So this is very close to Mont Blanc 149 Sailor King of pens, and it's got a Jovo 1.1 stub, or 1.5 stub, and it's got some beautiful line variation.
That it does. And what does a pen like this sell for?
About $200. Ebonite's a little more expensive material, but it's incredibly durable. It's got more weight to it than a resin pen does. Mm-hmm. And for long writing sessions, if you tend to have sweaty hands, it won't slip like a resin pen will. It's just overall a very earthy, very warm feeling pen.
Well, there you have it. Last but not least, again, on Jim's on payment, if you decide to order from him, takes credit cards.
Credit cards, PayPal, cash if you're local. Don't send cash in the mail. Money order. I don't accept personal checks at this time.
Right.
But I have numerous ways to pay. And right now, if you order a pen, we're looking at anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. If I suddenly get a rush, that time may be expended, but rest assured, I do have a day job, folks, but I spend my evenings out here in the shop making pens and fulfilling orders and coming up with new models, new styles, new dimensions, things that I want to play with and things that I want to try.
Now remember, when you order a pen, you have to pay for the pen. There's no way that you just say, okay, I want this pen, and then he's going to make it and send it to you. Got to get a payment first. So remember that, because some folks, they don't understand. They think you're going to get the pen first and then send the payment. Well, like with anybody else, you have to pay for the merchandise before you get it. But once you get it, you're going to be glad that you got it.
And I'd like to, if you don't mind, I'd like to mention one other thing about handmade items, guys. I know a lot of people will look at a price tag Or, they'll say, oh, I can go buy a Lamy Safari for $50. Why would I want to spend $120 or $180 on a custom pen? One, it's made by these two hands. Every step of the way. I make the pen, I test the pen, I tune the pen. It doesn't leave my shop until I'm happy with it. And let me tell you, I am more of a stickler for quality control than probably you are. Second, when you're looking at the price tag, bear in mind that I've been doing this over 20 years, and that during that time frame, you're not only paying for the pen and the materials, but you're paying for everything I've learned up until now that goes into it. It's like any other craftsman. If you're a professional and you make $50 an hour, you don't discount that for anybody. You should never ask somebody who makes a handmade item to discount their time and the effort and the learning that went into it. Support local businesses and support craftsmen. It's a dying art. They're not teaching this stuff in school anymore. Kids are growing up not working with their hands, which is another reason I teach.
What a pen. Once again, this is a kid pen that'll knock your socks off.
No, you can't have it, Larry, sorry.
Oh! Oh! Jesus! Oh! Ah! Anyway, okay, folks, well, that's going to wrap up this session of Larry's Fountain Pens. And Jim, thanks for having us out here, and appreciate you taking the time and explaining everything about what you do and how you do it and when you do it. And I hope everybody out there has got something out of this. I know I have. So when you think of pens, think of Hinze Custom Pens. That's going to do you. You rock. God bless. Talk to you guys later. See ya!